Hey there, it's CJ Willie, and I'm cracking a pack. After doing 2 Zendikar Rising set booster packs, I'm back to the regular booster packs. Let's get to cracking this pack. Hopefully I'll be able to pull something way cool out of it. I haven't done any drafts yet, so I'm still first impression of the cards. All right. First card out of the pack is Cascades Seer, 4 mana, 3 and a blue, Merfolk Wizard at 3/3. When Cascades Seer enters the battlefield, scry X, where X is the number of creatures in your party. I'm not sure what I think about the party mechanic. Party can happen, though I think in Limited it's a little more difficult than it is in Constructed. Next up is Farsight Adept, 3 mana, 2 and a white, Core Wizard at 3/3. When Farsight Adept enters the battlefield, you and target opponent each draw a card. I don't know that I really like this. I don't like that it's symmetrical. Me drawing a card is awesome. My opponent drawing a card, I don't like that. That's one of my least favorite things in Magic. Tormenting Voice, 2 mana, 1 and a red, sorcery. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards. Historically, I like this card quite a bit. In red, you pitch a land, you get 2 new cards. It's been outclassed because recently Thrill of Possibility, which is at instant speed. Negate, 2 mana, 1 and a blue, instant, counter target non-creature spell. Classic Negate. In Limited, if I'm playing blue, I'm gonna draft 1 copy of Negate. I'm gonna hold on to it and protect my bomb creature from my opponent's shenanigans, or if they've got some sort of shenanigans on their side, Negate is very handy to have. Oblivion's Hunger, 2 mana, 1 and a black, instant. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Draw a card if that creature has a +1/+1 counter on it. It appears that black-green has a +1/+1 counter theme to it. This card can turn out to be a bomb, combat trick to protect your creature, and if it's got a +1/+1 counter on it, you're drawing a card. This is a card that I like quite a bit. Jujuro Blight Blade, single green mana, Elf Rogue at 1/1 with Death Touch. I really like 1/1 Death Touchers. They're cheap to get out, they clog up the ground game, and eventually your opponent's going to have to attack into it and more than likely lose one of their better creatures, so it always trades up. Feed the Swarm, 2 mana, 1 and a black, sorcery. Destroy target creature or enchantment an opponent controls. You lose life equal to that permanent's converted mana cost. This is a black common that I like quite a bit. Sure, you're going to lose some life, but in the right deck, especially black-white where you're gaining life, it's going to nullify that life loss. And being able to destroy a target creature or even a troublesome enchantment for 2 mana, sorcery speed is a little bit of a drawback, but still a great common. Expedition Diviner, 4 mana, 3 and a blue, Merfolk Wizard at 3/2. It has flying. As long as you control another wizard, Expedition Diviner has, when this creature dies, draw a card. 3/2 flyer for 4, great stats. In a white-blue flyers deck, I'm going to play this till the cows come home. If I have another wizard out and it dies and I can replace it with a card, even better. This is Zendikar, 4 mana, 3 and a green, enchantment or Enchanted Land. Enchanted Land is a 4/4 elemental creature with reach and haste. It's still a land. When Enchanted Land dies, return that card to its owner's hand. This is a relatively decent aura. It turns land into a 4/4 creature. If for whatever reason that 4/4 creature dies, you just return to your hand and play it again. And in Zendikar Rising, landfall mechanic is going to trigger something else. Showcase Art, Prowling Felidar, 4 mana, 3 and a white, Cat Beast at 2/3, has Vigilance. Landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Prowling Felidar. I think this will end up being a good common. A 2/3 for 4 isn't great. Vigilance doesn't really make that much of a difference in my opinion, but with a landfall mechanic making this a 3/4, a 4/5, a 5/6, eventually my opponent's going to have to answer it, or a 5/6 Vigilance is very difficult to deal with. First uncommon is Ruin Crab, single blue mana, crab at 0/3. Landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 3 cards. This harkens back to Hedron Crab in original Zendikar. Ruin Crab in limited is going to do a ton of work. If you're able to get 2 copies of this, you will more than likely mill out your opponent. I think it's a very strong uncommon. I'm really excited to play Ruin Crab and annoy my friends by milling them out. Next up is Cleric of Life's Bond. 2 mana, 1 white, 1 black. Vampire Cleric at 2/2. Whenever another cleric enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Cleric of Life's Bond. White-black has a very strong lifelink theme. There are plenty of clerics in both black and white. I think this is a really strong signal post uncommon that if you pack one, pick it, you can build around it. Final uncommon is Sign of the Swarm, 5 mana, 3 and 2 black. Vampire Cleric at 3/3 has flying. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Sign of the Swarm. A pretty good combo with Cleric of Life's Bond and Sign of the Swarm. Like I said before, white-black has a strong lifelink theme. If you draft either of these, pack one, pick one, you should be able to get enough life gain that you can build around them. And at 5 mana, a 3/3 isn't great, but the potential to grow. Being a flyer, it's going to get out of control, and if your opponent doesn't have an answer for it, it will win you the game. Okay, will we get a great rare or a mythic rare? We have Glasspool Mimic. 3 mana, 2 and a blue, Shapeshifter Rogue at 0/0. You may have Glasspool Mimic enter the battlefield as copy of a creature you control, except it's a Shapeshifter Rogue in addition to its other types. And it's one of the cool double-faced modal cards, or I think they're calling them modal double-face cards, that if you choose, you can have it enter the battlefield tapped, and it taps to add 1 blue to your mana pool. I think this is one of my favorite modal double-faced cards. I find that the Glasspool Mimic side has a very useful ability. Comes into the battlefield, copies one of my creatures. Maybe I hold on to it later in the game and I have it copy one of my bigger, better creatures, or even my bomb. And in a pinch, early on, if I need a land, I can play it and have that mana to further my game plan. And then an island and a copy token card. All right, my favorite card, or best card out of the pack, is going to be Ruin Crab. I really enjoy the mill theme. I know it's annoying for my opponents when I'm milling them out, but I think I'm really excited because Zendikar Rising in the blue-black rogue archetype, I think that there's a really strong milling ability, and Ruin Crab fits right into that. I'm really excited to get it. It's one of the, I guess you could say, pricier or mythic uncommons, and for me to get a play set, I'm gonna have to really rely on pulling them through packs. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please subscribe and share. Take some time to tell me in the comments section what was your favorite card or best card out of the pack. Until next time, when I'm back to crack another Magic the Gathering booster pack.